Hi everyone, welcome back to Style and Sugar. Today we are going to make a double brown butter pound cake. And the reason it's called double brown butter is because it's going to have brown butter inside of the cake, and then it's going to have like a brown butter soak that's going to go on top. So let's talk about brown butter for a little bit. So here is our butter melting. And now here in the corner, you see like the milk solids. It's like a little bit of milk with like some water. And that's the part that's going to get brown. So it's easiest to see like right now before we get too far gone. And that is the part that's going to get browned and give this pound cake such a rich and complex flavor. So I'm just going to help this along. You can melt this butter in the microwave first, and that'll save you a couple of extra minutes. And at this stage, don't be scared to really crank up the heat. Like turn it up to high, because we want it to get nice and hot so that all of the water can start to evaporate. Okay, I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. I don't want it to splash me too much. So today I'm gonna teach you how to supercharge your brown butter. This is some instant non-fat dry milk. And basically this is milk solids. So since this is 4 sticks of butter, I'm gonna add in about 3 tablespoons of these milk solids to really get a super brown butter taste. And again, this is just the milk powder going in. And this is the way the milk powder looks. And you can see that that's gonna make a really good brown butter. So I'm gonna put 4 tablespoons because this is like 4 sticks of butter. So let's say 1 tablespoon per cup. So there's our non-fat dry milk, and I'm just gonna stir this to dissolve it. So another way I've tried was actually putting extra milk into the melted butter, but I found that that gave me like a lot of extra moisture that was really popping around. So I said, let me try some dry milk and maybe that would pop me a little bit less. So the brown butter is gonna go through stages. It's gonna go through like a really rapid boiling stage, and this is where the water is gonna be evaporating off. And then after all the water is gone, it's gonna get really quiet. Like right now it's really loud, but it's gonna get to a point where it gets like a really quiet, like little bubbles popping. So this is my jar of vanilla sugar. I take all of my scraped vanilla beans and I put them in here. So this is the vanilla bean that I scraped today, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in. And I'm just gonna pull out this one because it's been in the sugar a while. And this is gonna be a great addition to my brown butter because the vanilla can really bloom well in brown butter. So in goes this kind of spent vanilla bean pod, but it still has a lot of great flavor. And this vanilla sugar is so pungent. Like I have a lot of vanilla beans in there, so I'm just gonna smash that down, and I'm gonna give this a shake. And then I can also go back and add in some more sugar to this, and I have like an endless supply of vanilla sugar. Okay, let's check on this brown butter. So you just want to stir it. You know, things will start to stick to the bottom. And this process, I mean, it doesn't take forever. It takes a good 10 minutes. And I don't know how you like your brown butter. Maybe you've never browned butter before, but you can stop at like kind of an early stage where it's kind of just like a maybe about the color of this this whisk handle. But I like to take it pretty deep, and it doesn't taste burnt. It just tastes really delicious, and it lets like some real like caramel notes come through, and it's just toasty, and it sounds like a really good fall flavor especially. So you see the sound, if you listen, the sound has changed a little bit. A lot of the water is gone, and I like to use a wide pan like this to evaporate it because I think that the water can escape a little bit faster. So already it looks like we're entering the foam stage. You see all this foam on top? And I like to stir in the middle because the middle can kind of tell you like what color the milk solids are. So if you look right in the middle, it's still pretty golden. Though some of the foam on top, you're starting to see like a little bit more of the golden, of the brown color. So the foam can get pretty high. So what you want to do is just turn down your heat. If you turn down your heat a little bit, you can kind of control the browning process. But this is coming along really nicely. You see already, like, we're starting to get like the caramelization of the milk solids for this supercharged brown butter. Maybe you would like to stop at this stage, but I'm gonna keep going until I get an even richer color. Right now, I have my heat turned all the way down to the lowest setting, and you see it still has like a lot of residual heat. So I turned down the heat, and you can see that the foam has quieted down. It's not boiling so rapidly. I think I'm happy with this. So look at this swirl. It almost looks like a giant cinnamon bun. And that's the rich color that I really wanted. So here's our supercharged brown butter. With all of our extra solids going in. Okay, and here's the rest of our browned milk solids going in. So 1 cup, 1 pound of butter gave us almost 2 cups of brown butter. So because some of the liquid has evaporated out of here, I'm going to add the liquid back in. And roughly about, since this was 4 sticks of butter, I'm gonna add 4 tablespoons of half and half. So that's 1 and 4. So this mix is still really hot, and you see like I put the half and half in there and it's like sizzling in there. And I'm just gonna whisk this a little bit to combine it. And honestly, you could have put water in here or whole milk, but I used half and half. So we're gonna beat this cake just like a normal pound cake. So this brown butter really needs to cool down until it's like a nice and soft consistency, not this liquid. So I'm gonna put this in my freezer until I'm ready to use it. So I'm just checking on my brown butter, and it has a ways to go. It's not solid yet. But I need a little bit of this brown butter for our soak. So I'm just gonna grab that right now and get it into our pot. And this is for the butter glaze. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put that into our pot. Stirring this to try to get everything like around the same temperature. And look at all our milk solids at the bottom. So I'm gonna put some of the milk solids in with the glaze, because I want the glaze to have like those gorgeous speckles in there. Okay, our brown butter has cooled down really nicely. Look at this speckled, delicious goodness. And now we're ready to get it into the mixing bowl with our sugar. Okay, let's get this brown butter in the bowl, because this cake needs to get into the oven. Okay, next we have 2 cups of sugar going in. 2 cups of sugar. Okay, I couldn't help myself. This is just a little bit of orange zest for our cake. Just a little bit of extra flavor. And then here is our, I've already scraped this vanilla bean. And this is just our vanilla bean caviar going in. And I like to put in these ingredients during the creaming process to make sure that we really release all of the oils in that orange with the friction, and also just the real flavor of the vanilla. And I always use vanilla bean because I really like the speckles. Next, we're gonna cream this, and we're gonna
really light in color and really fluffy. I think most people under cream.
Okay, I've been mixing for about maybe 1 minute, and I just want to give my bowl a scrape down. And look at this mix. And for the creaming process, you know, we're really trying to like pulverize the sugar and get it really incorporated. It's time for another scrape down, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like. This color has already gotten like a fluffier, lighter color, and I guess we're on the right track. So I'll call this scrape down number 2.
I'm scraping the paddle, baby. You gotta scrape every little bit of batter. When you're...
Okay, time for another. I'm really liking this bowl because of this handle. This cake is coming together really nicely, and before I put my eggs in, I'm just gonna prep our the rest of our dry ingredients. So this is 3 cups of flour going in, and we're just gonna get it sifted. So 1, 2, 3 cups of flour. And then we have, this is 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and we have 1 teaspoon of salt. Now we just want to get these sifted so that everything is ready. Okay, so now everything is ready. Okay, so I have my eggs all ready, and we're just gonna incorporate them one at a time. So I'll just go and try to get just 1 egg in there. There we go. 1. Okay, that was egg number 1. And what do? We scrape down.
You gotta stop the mixer, scrape the paddle, scrape the bowl. See how careful I'm being? I'm getting every little bit.
Okay, second egg going in. Egg number 3 going in. Okay, scrape down. There's this great cake tutorial by I think her name is Sohla, and she beats this batter, and she scrapes down the beaters and everything. And
always stop the mixer, scrape the paddle, scrape the bowl. I'm gonna do this over and over again. This is really the secret between having a good pound cake and a great pound cake.
She talks about how in the bakery, like you could get fired by not like scraping down your bowl.
When you're working in a bakery, it's like you get fired if you don't scrape every little bit.
But since I'm at home and not in a bakery and I don't have a boss but me, I'm not gonna scrape down my beaters every time. Our last egg going in. Okay, that is it. All of the eggs are incorporated. But you know, we have to scrape down. Scrape down. So I'm just gonna alternate, you know, our dry ingredients, and we have 1 cup of half and half. So I have a little measuring cup, and I'll just stick a little bit in. And the color of this batter literally looks like caramel. At first I was concerned that maybe I just went overboard with the milk solids, but I think a cake like this can handle it. So let's see if I can mix with my left hand and do this part with my right hand. Let's see how this goes. Okay, a little bit more flour. Okay, the last of our milk. Okay, so I see a little bit of flour on the sides, and I'm just gonna really give this a good eyeballing to make sure that I don't have any pockets of flour and that everything is incorporated. Okay, there's our mix, and now here's our pan. And I'm gonna take this pan and I'm really gonna spray this. Remember our brown butter? We're gonna make a glaze that goes on top, but I don't want the glaze to stick to the inside of the pan. So I'm going to line this with parchment paper. So I took 2 strips of parchment and I'm just gonna stick it, because this is like not exactly a total cylinder. I have 2 pieces. So here's 1 piece of parchment and I'm just smoothing it in here the best I can. So this is the 2nd piece of parchment. And again, I'm doing this because when I put my soak on, and I also, when I make this cake, I want to serve it so that the top part is facing upwards. So that's another reason why I'm doing this. Okay, so now here's the fun part. I can't wait to do this. It's getting this mix in here with the spout. Okay, here is this caramel colored batter going in here. Our double brown butter pound cake with vanilla bean and a little bit of orange. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this batter and I'm very gently just gonna try to even this out.
This is money. It's money. And in your own home, it's money too. So it's great.
I wanna get it all because we could be fighting for the last piece of cake, you know? Saying I wish I got those extra 5 grams in there. Another thing I saw Sohla do was she did a line. She did a line like this. She made a loaf pan, so she scored it like that. But she said that it would help it rise. So look, I'm just taking this butter knife and I'm running a channel all the way around, and maybe that'll give it me like a nice kind of dome in the middle.
Just gonna go in there and boom. And that's gonna make sure that our pound cake rises right in the middle, just where we...
So I'm excited to see how this turns out for many reasons. Okay, so the channel has been dug and it is finally ready for this cake to go into our 350-degree oven. Okay, cake you will go for about 1 hour. So since our cake is in the oven, I'm just gonna get our glaze ready. So this is our brown butter that we reserved. And this is the other piece of my vanilla bean. And it's just 1 cup of sugar. And this is 1/3 of a cup of water. So I'm ready for this. It'll just go on the stove. And let me grab a little bit of orange zest also. So just a little orange zest. Okay, the cake is ready, and I'm really pleased with this cake. So if I insert our cake tester, it comes out nice and clean. Here's our brown butter and vanilla and orange soak that's gonna go on the cake. And you saw me boil it a little bit. It wasn't supposed to boil, but I still think it's gonna be fine. Okay, so now I'm going to put in many, many holes. And I'm gonna hurt my family's feelings because I'm not gonna cut this cake tonight because I want the soak to go all the way through. We'll see. We'll see how much they fight me. Okay, I've been poking for what, maybe 2 minutes now? Okay, look at the delicious brown color. It's really brown butter. I put 4 tablespoons of powdered milk in the butter. And you just want to spoon this over the top, and I hope that the syrup really does a good job soaking into the cake. So again, this is a variation on the Kentucky butter cake, and you know, just being in the kitchen, you really just get to do what you like. So I like brown butter, so I didn't use rum, which is I think the original recipe for the Kentucky butter cake. I used brown butter and vanilla bean and a little bit of orange because I love orange. I sneak it in as many things as I can. So it looks like the soak doesn't want to go in anymore, but guess what? I'm going to force it in. And look at our soak, and look at all of the milk solid. So continue till all of this is gone, because what else am I going to do with this? About done. Let me get my scraper. Or maybe I'll, oh, I was supposed to save some for the outside, Miriam. That's why I have so much. Okay, so now I need some of this back. Let's see how this works. So I was like, I need to use it all, but we don't need to use it all. You need to save some. Okay, so, okay, that was a really good save. Okay, so let's take a look at our double brown butter pound cake. It's cooled off really nicely. I got some protests from my family. They wanted to eat cake tonight, so let's give it a taste. Okay, and here is our cake. Okay, so I was concerned about the dome, but now I want some glaze on the other side too. So I am gonna flip it. So let's just put on the glaze on the outside. And this is a beautiful and shiny glaze. So I was all excited about serving this cake, you know, with the other side, but maybe since the cake is cooled, like the dome won't get too crushed on top, because I really want the glaze to be kind of all around. I'm very pleased with this cake. Look at all of the caramelized milk solids in there. They almost look like coffee grounds, but they're not. And that's our vanilla and our orange glaze. And I cannot wait to cut into this cake. Okay, here is our double brown butter pound cake.